When you look at these five people, which one draws your attention first? Is it the one who feels familiar, like a reflection of yourself, or the one you can't quite understand? Take a deep breath, because what you are about to discover isn't just about them, it's about you. Every choice we make, even the smallest one, carries a hidden echo from within. When your eyes are drawn to someone, to their energy, their silence, their posture, it isn't random. It's your unconscious whispering through attraction, curiosity, and instinct. Carl Jung once said that everything that irritates us about others can lead us to an understanding of ourselves. That is what this test is about. Not judgment, but revelation. Not about who they are, but what part of you they awaken. In a few moments, you will see 5 different people on your screen. Each one represents a powerful Jungian archetype, a timeless fragment of the human psyche that lives inside every one of us. When you feel drawn to one of them, remember, that pull is not coincidence. It's a compass pointing toward your inner world, your desires, your fears, and your hidden strengths. Look carefully. There's the quiet one, whose eyes seem to carry questions that have no answers. The fierce one, whose presence feels like fire in motion. The calm one, radiating serenity, as if the whole world slows down around them. The one who stands tall, whose voice could move mountains. And perhaps, the one who feels both lost and found at the same time. Each of them is a mirror, and the one you choose will reveal the energy that guides your life. The way you love, protect, heal, rebel, or lead. But before we begin, I invite you to pause for a moment. Silence your mind. Breathe slowly. Allow your intuition, not your logic, to guide you. Because the part of you that chooses isn't the one that speaks or reasons. It's the part that dreams. The part that remembers ancient stories, symbols, and emotions that words can't fully explain. Now, look within. Let your instinct lead you toward one of these 5 souls. Don't think, just feel. Trust what draws you in, for that attraction is the language of your unconscious. Who do you choose? The traveler with restless eyes, the guardian with steady hands, the rebel with fire in their heart, the healer with soft light in their palms, or the leader who carries the weight of others' dreams? Whichever you pick, remember, you are not just looking at them. You are meeting a part of yourself. Before you stands the seeker. Their appearance is simple, almost ordinary, yet something about them feels infinite. They wear clothes fit for a journey, light and comfortable, ready to face both sun and storm. In their hand rests a small compass, slightly worn, its needle trembling as if alive. A map peeks out of their pocket, unfinished, uncertain, just like their path. Their gaze is fixed on the horizon, not searching for gold nor glory, but for meaning. You can see it in their eyes, that quiet fire of curiosity that refuses to die. Every breath they take whispers the same question. What else is there? What lies beyond what I know? The seeker is not lost. They are becoming. Their entire existence is a pilgrimage through ideas, places, emotions, and the landscapes of their own soul. They walk not to arrive, but to understand. Because for them, the path itself is the destination. This archetype carries the energy of the wanderer, the philosopher, the student of life. They are drawn to the unknown like moths to a flame, not because they are reckless, but because they sense that truth hides in mystery. While others fear uncertainty, the seeker breathes it in like oxygen. If you chose the seeker, Perhaps you feel that same restlessness inside you, that quiet ache that tells you there's more to life than what meets the eye. You may look at your routines, your surroundings, even your relationships, and feel something missing, something just out of reach. You long for experiences that expand your spirit, for journeys that challenge your identity and push you to grow. You are not satisfied with simple answers. You ask why when others say, because. You are drawn to questions that may never be fully answered, questions about purpose, truth, destiny. And though this longing can sometimes feel heavy, it is your greatest strength. But every journey has its trials. The seeker's gift, curiosity, can also become their burden. Because when you are always searching, you rarely stop to rest. You can feel untethered, like a leaf caught between winds, always moving, never arriving. You might envy those who seem content where they are, yet deep inside, you know you were not made to stand still. The seeker is fascinated by the unseen patterns of life. They follow intuition over logic, passion over comfort, and the heart over fear. And while the world may call them wanderers, they are in truth the architects of discovery, for it is through their endless questions that humanity evolves. If you are drawn to this archetype, it means your soul remembers what it is to grow. You are a being in motion, destined not for stability, but for evolution. And though the road ahead may twist and vanish into fog, every step you take brings you closer, not to a place, but to yourself. So, traveler, keep your compass close. Your map may not be complete, but your heart knows the way. And remember, sometimes getting lost is the only way to be found. Now look at the second figure, the protector. They stand tall, grounded, unwavering. Their clothes are practical yet noble, perhaps a tailored coat, a symbolic armor, or a uniform that tells you this person carries duty in their bones. Their stance is calm but alert, like someone who has seen chaos and decided to stand between it and the people they love. In their hands, they hold something, maybe a shield, maybe a locket, or just a simple gesture of protection. Whatever it is, you can feel their presence, solid, dependable, and quietly powerful. They are the calm before the storm, and sometimes the wall that keeps the storm away. The protector is the guardian archetype. They are not driven by conquest, but by care. Their power is not loud, it's patient. They are the ones who notice when someone is breaking, who take on responsibilities even when they are tired, because their heart knows no other way. If you felt drawn to the protector, it means something deep inside you values safety, not just your own, but everyone's. You feel responsible for the peace around you, for maintaining balance, for ensuring that no one gets hurt. People come to you for strength, for reassurance, for guidance, and you give it freely, even when your own energy is running low. Your energy carries the vibration of order and structure. You bring stability where there is confusion. You plan ahead, you anticipate danger, and you act before anyone else even sees the threat. You are the one who says, "It's okay, I've got this," even when the weight of the world presses on your shoulders. But the protector's greatest strength can also become their quietest wound. Because behind that steady composure often hides exhaustion, a deep, unspoken fatigue from always being the strong one. You rarely let others see your weakness. You rarely allow yourself to rest, to cry, or to admit that you too need care. You build walls not to isolate yourself, but to keep others safe, even if it means standing alone inside your own fortress. Your love is practical. You show it through action, by showing up, by fixing things, by shielding those you care about from harm. But sometimes, your heart longs for someone who will simply say, "You can put the armor down now. You're safe too." If you chose this archetype, you may carry an inner tension between control and vulnerability. You fear losing grip, because to lose control feels like to lose safety. And yet, real strength isn't in holding everything together. It's in knowing when to let go. It's in trusting that not every battle is yours to fight. Not every storm needs your shield. The protector reminds us that boundaries and love can coexist, that you can care for others without forgetting yourself, that being strong does not mean being invincible. It means being courageous enough to protect what matters, even when your heart trembles. If this archetype calls to you, it may be time to ask yourself, when was the last time you felt protected? When did you last allow someone else to carry you for a change? Remember, the protector's purpose is not to bear the world alone. It's to remind the world that safety is sacred, and that even the guardian deserves to rest beneath their own shield. And now, the third figure steps forward, the rebel. You notice them instantly. There's something magnetic in their posture. Bold, unapologetic, electric. Their clothing defies rules. Maybe a leather jacket, mismatched colors, or an old band tee that looks like it carries 1,000 stories. They don't need to speak for you to feel their fire. It's in their walk. It's in the way they meet the world head-on, daring it to look away first. The rebel carries a different kind of power, one born from resistance. They are the storm that refuses to be silenced. They don't just live. They challenge life to prove itself worthy of living. Every choice they make, every step they take, is an act of authenticity. They are driven by a sacred refusal, a refusal to conform, to pretend, to bow. If you felt drawn to the rebel, it means there's a fierce spirit inside you that values freedom more than comfort. You may not follow the path others laid out for you. You carve your own. You question traditions that no longer make sense. You break patterns that limit your soul. You are guided by a voice that whispers, "There must be another way." You might have been misunderstood, even judged. But deep down, you know, every revolution begins with someone who refused to stay silent. And the rebel inside you was born from that same sacred unrest. You are the spark that starts change. When others remain quiet, you speak. When others hesitate, you move. When others follow, you lead. Not by authority, but by example. Yet, like all powerful energies, rebellion carries its shadows. Sometimes, your need to fight against control can isolate you. You might reject guidance or closeness, mistaking love for limitation. And though your independence is your strength, it can also become your armor, one that keeps you from feeling fully seen. The rebel archetype asks for balance, to distinguish between rebellion that heals and rebellion that destroys, to understand that true freedom is not about escaping others, but about meeting yourself without fear. If this energy resonates with you, perhaps you've always felt that you don't quite fit in, that the world's boxes were too small for your ideas, your emotions, your dreams. You're not wrong. You were never meant to fit in. You were meant to expand. The rebel is not chaos. They are creation. They are the earthquake that breaks the old ground so that something new can grow. They are the voice that says, enough. Enough of living small. Enough of pretending. Enough of fear disguised as obedience. But even the fiercest rebel must remember, Rebellion without direction burns out. So learn to guide your fire. Let your defiance become art. Let your passion become purpose. Let your voice become healing, not just noise. If you chose this archetype, your soul is reminding you that transformation always begins with disruption. You are not broken. You are breaking free. And sometimes, the walls that fall apart around you were never home to begin with. So stand tall, rebel. Your fire was never meant to destroy. It was meant to illuminate. Now, a new presence emerges. Soft, radiant, almost luminous. The air around them seems to hum gently, as if the very atmosphere recognizes their energy. This is the healer. Their clothes are simple but full of harmony. Linen, earth tones, natural fabrics that breathe. Their hands move slowly, gracefully, as if each motion carries intention. In one palm, they might hold a small stone, a feather, a sprig of lavender, symbols of renewal and balance. Their eyes, calm, deep, compassionate. They look at you, not as someone to fix, but as someone to understand. When the healer appears, everything quiets down. It's as if the noise of the world fades, and what remains is only the rhythm of breath, the pulse of life itself. Their very presence is medicine. They don't have to speak. Their energy listens for them. The healer is the archetype of empathy, connection, and restoration. They are the ones who see pain not as weakness, but as a story waiting to be understood. Their gift lies in their ability to hold space, to allow others to unfold, to heal, to remember who they are. They are the friends who notice when you're not okay, even when you say, "I'm fine." They are the quiet souls who give you hope simply by being there. If you felt drawn to this archetype, you carry an immense heart, sensitive, intuitive, and open to the emotions of the world. You might often feel what others feel, sometimes too deeply. You absorb their sorrow, their joy, their confusion, their dreams. You give comfort even when your own spirit is tired. Your healing energy is your gift, but it is also your test. Because those who heal others often forget to heal themselves, you may lose yourself in caring for others, giving so much that your own well runs dry. And when you finally stop, when silence comes, you realize how empty you've become. The healer must remember this truth. You cannot pour from an empty cup. Your light shines brightest when you care for your own flame. Healing is not a duty, it's a balance. Giving and receiving, holding and releasing, listening to others and listening to yourself. If you chose the healer, it means your soul knows what compassion feels like, not as an idea, but as a language. You understand the silent ache behind a smile. You sense the stories hidden beneath someone's voice. And though this sensitivity may sometimes feel heavy, it is also sacred. You have the power to bring calm to chaos, light to grief, peace to confusion. But do not forget, you are not meant to carry every wound. The world needs your healing, yes, but you also need your own sanctuary. Time to breathe, to cry, to rest. The true healer does not save the world. They restore themselves so their light becomes a guide for others. You heal through example, not exhaustion. Through presence, not pressure. Through love, not sacrifice. If this archetype calls to you, perhaps your spirit is asking for gentleness, to slow down, to touch the earth again, to remember that caring for yourself is not selfish. It's sacred maintenance of your soul. So take a breath. Let your palms open, your heart soften, and whisper to yourself, I deserve the same peace I give to others. And now, the final figure steps forward, the leader. Their energy is unmistakable. They do not need to announce who they are. The air around them does it for them. Every movement is precise, deliberate, composed. Their back is straight, their chin raised, and their eyes, steady, unwavering, focused on a horizon only they can see. They wear garments that command quiet respect. Maybe a well-fitted suit, or a traditional coat marked by heritage and honor. Their hands hold something symbolic. A key, a document, a staff. Not tools of dominance, but of guidance. Their very presence whispers, I carry the weight of others, and I do not take it lightly. The leader archetype embodies vision, structure, and purpose. They are the ones who step forward when others hesitate. The ones who take responsibility even when it feels unbearable. They are not defined by titles or authority. Their leadership comes from the integrity of their heart. If you felt drawn to this archetype, it means there's a part of you that was born to guide, to organize chaos, to bring clarity, to stand tall when others falter. You are someone people naturally look to for direction, even when you didn't ask for it. They sense your presence, your calm, your ability to decide when no one else can. Your energy is that of movement and momentum, always thinking, planning, building. You may not realize it, but you are the anchor in many people's lives. You hold the unspoken belief that if you don't act, things might fall apart. And so, you act. You lead. You endure. But behind the leader's composure often lies solitude. Because the higher you climb, the thinner the air becomes. You carry the dreams, fears, and expectations of others. And while the world sees your confidence, it rarely sees your fatigue. You smile for your team, your family, your followers, even when your soul quietly asks for rest. Leadership is not just about command. It is about care. It is about responsibility, the sacred kind that demands both courage and compassion. But it can also become a burden if you forget that you, too, are human. If this archetype resonates with you, your journey may be one of learning to balance strength with vulnerability, to allow others to help, even when you're used to doing everything yourself. Because even the strongest pillars need a foundation, and even the leader deserves to lean. You are someone who carries vision in your chest, a dream of what could be, not just for yourself, but for others. But remember, true leadership does not mean walking ahead of everyone. It means walking with them. It means creating space where others can rise beside you. Sometimes, the most powerful act of leadership is not giving orders. It's showing your humanity. Saying, I don't have all the answers, but I will find them with you. Letting others see your sincerity instead of your perfection. If you chose this archetype, you are a lighthouse in the storm, visible not because you are unshaken, but because you continue to shine even when the waves crash hardest. Your strength inspires, your clarity protects, and your integrity heals. But never forget, the leader's light must also return home. So when the world grows quiet and the crowd disperses, allow yourself to set down the crown. Breathe. Remember that leadership is not a role you play. It's an energy that flows through you. And even when you rest, your light does not fade. Now that you've met the five, the seeker, the protector, the rebel, the healer, and the leader, take a moment. Close your eyes. Let their images linger in your mind like echoes from another lifetime. Which one spoke to you the loudest? Which one stirred something deep something you can't quite name. Perhaps you felt the restlessness of the seeker, always walking, always wondering, never quite arriving. Or maybe the calm strength of the protector, the one who holds the world together, even when their own hands tremble. Perhaps it was the rebel, fierce, unapologetic, burning with the need to live by their own truth. Or maybe the soft pulse of the healer, tender, compassionate, carrying the quiet courage to mend what others cannot face. And then there's the leader, resolute, visionary, burdened and blessed with the weight of direction. But here's the truth. None of these archetypes are separate. They are not strangers. They are siblings, and all of them live inside you. You are the seeker when you question your path. You are the protector when you defend what matters. You are the rebel when you refuse to settle. You are the healer when you choose kindness. And you are the leader when you rise, even when no one else does. These archetypes are not roles you play. They are energies that flow through you, depending on the season of your soul. Some appear in times of chaos. Some awaken when life feels calm. Together they form the living constellation of your psyche. Your choice in this test was not random. It was your unconscious revealing what you need right now. Maybe the seeker's longing is asking you to explore again, to stop pretending you found all the answers. Maybe the protector's vigilance is reminding you to set healthy boundaries, not walls. Maybe the rebel's fire is asking you to break free from what no longer fits. Maybe the healer's compassion is whispering, turn that gentleness inward. Or maybe the leader's presence is calling you to step up, to embody your potential without fear. Whatever you chose, it's not a label. It's a mirror. A moment of truth reflected back at you. Carl Jung believed that wholeness is not found in perfection, but in integration, in welcoming every part of ourselves, even the ones we hide. Your shadow, your light, your rebellion, your tenderness, they all belong. They are not contradictions, they are complements. So tonight, before you sleep, ask yourself, which archetype have I ignored? Which one have I overfed? And which one is waiting quietly to be remembered? Because when you honor all five, something extraordinary happens. You stop living as fragments and begin living as a whole. You begin to understand that your soul is not a single voice, but a choir, a sacred harmony of power, purpose, freedom, love, and curiosity. And from that moment on, every decision you make, every person you meet, every reflection you see, becomes a bridge back to your truest self. The journey never ends, because the journey is you. So tell me, which one did you choose? Comment below with the number or the name of the archetype that called to you most deeply. And remember, your choice is not the end of this story. It's the beginning of understanding who you've been all along. Because the moment you see yourself clearly, you begin to heal, and the world, quietly, begins to change with you.